Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from Global Alts Miami by iConnections. And joining me to open up our coverage, we have Gaia Ferrero Regis. She is the CEO of Byzantine Finance. We're here to discuss how a pro-crypto shift is transforming investment strategies. Gaia, it is great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you very much for inviting me and excited to be here. Good morning, everyone.
All right, you got it. And let's talk about the current environment from Byzantine's perspective and
Yeah.
what's your specific area within the alt space?
Yeah, so we focus a lot on the digital assets, and it's definitely something that has been evolved a lot over the past few years. We can visually see it here in the conference. If before was really just oriented in traditional finance, right now there's like a whole crypto pavilion that I'm really excited about. And what we're seeing in terms of like where's this those digital assets are positioning themselves is really in the larger adoption by institutions as well. And yeah, I think this is something that we're really seeing it here.
Yeah, you can certainly see it just by the different types of companies that are here, to your point.
Yeah.
What are some of the key trends that are shaping the global alts investing landscape?
That's a great question, and I think I'll concentrate again on the digital
Hmm.
assets that I believe being one of the largest trends that have been taking over and building up over the past few years. Um, and within it, I'd say that the large evolution in the regulations over the past few years, and especially now, has been has left some space for digital assets to develop more and more. And what we're seeing is essentially the ETF on Ethereum getting approved and largely used now by a lot of institutions, and the staked ETF now approved in multiple other countries. And essentially, this adoption of staking of cryptocurrencies. So at the beginning was really about institutions just acknowledging the digital assets and kind of like holding them, and now they're understanding that they can do more with them. So here's where staking comes in and essentially can be leveraged.
So it's interesting when you ask about what's the impact of the macro landscape. I mean, clearly we know that there is an impact,
Yeah.
just looking over, not even since the election, but when it really became part of the national conversation here in the US at the outset of 2024.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges and opportunities that the macro landscape represents for digital assets and the
Yeah.
broader alt space?
Great question again. I think that's well, it's again really the adoption, the fact that digital assets are getting um, really easy to use right now, and institutions are comfortable using it. There's this effectively huge trend on its volatility. So um, 4 years ago, I wrote this thesis trying to showcase that the volatility of the four major cryptocurrencies was diminishing over time. And if we want to see it from a macro perspective, this is exactly what is going on. As like there's a larger adoption and multiple other factors that are essentially having an impact on it, but what we're seeing is that the volatility is decreasing and institutions are more
Yeah.
confident by opting into them. And little by little, they're essentially adapting their traditional strategies into digital assets
And,
as
and
well.
that's a great point that you make because the conversation over the past 4 years certainly has evolved. It's
Yeah,
about DeFi, TradFi integration and user experience at the end of the day. And that's how you can see how the space is maturing.
yeah,
So when you think about your outlook, whether
yeah.
it's 2025 or looking forward, how's Byzantine thinking about it?
Oh, that's a great question. So essentially, where is the digital asset space going in the future? This is the question.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So it's a bit of a tough question because it's Web3 and digital assets is really an industry that evolves really, really rapidly,
Mhm.
and where a lot of new technology comes in and shifts a lot. But I think the two key points are really on one hand, large adoption. We're gonna see a lot of large institutions, aside from of course BlackRock, that's kind of already made a large step in, but also banks and from traditional finance stepping more and more in. Also now that can essentially legally have digital assets in their custody. So a lot of essentially use and broader spread of the use of digital assets, but also, and the most important thing is how those can be leveraged. So a lot of people doing staking strategies, a lot of people doing restaking strategy and lending on cryptocurrencies. So this is what I forecast for the next couple of years.
All right, Guy, I appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. And thanks for joining us from Global Alts. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you very much.